What's up, guys? We are back with another Dragon Ball SH Figuarts review, and we're taking a little bit of an early look at the event-exclusive Beast Gohan. Of course, Beast Gohan being from the superhero movie. Now, this is coming out, of course, first at San Diego Comic-Con. There may be additional ways to get him beyond that. P Bandai is usually an option, maybe the Tamashii stores, other conventions, because it's not just San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, it's event exclusive. So it may have other opportunities later on. And for folks going to SDCC, I'm going to put some information down below. If you haven't made an attempt to reserve these, you still have some time. If not, there will be opportunities at SDCC after reservations are done to potentially get him on site still. Now, in typical fashion for an event exclusive, we get the snazzy box, and I say it pretty much every time I look at one of these. I really love these boxes. This is really my preference. If every Figuart could be like this, I'd be really happy, but then the exclusive wouldn't be so exclusive. So we've got it, of course, with a purple color scheme to match Gohan, and of course, you know, his gi and his aura and all that kind of stuff. You've got the figure there in the window, you've got the artwork on the front that wraps around to the spine, you've got a product shot, and then the back, in typical fashion for a Figuarts, has a bunch of product shots showcasing how he moves and a bunch of the stuff he comes with. So yeah, let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our SH Figuarts event exclusive Beast Gohan. So in typical fashion for, well, at least a number of releases, not every release, this is one of those that gets that metallic, sort of pearlescent paint scheme, deco change, whatever you want to call it, to make it stand out from the original. That's not the only change with this figure. It is still overwhelmingly the same release if you have that first Beast Gohan, but there might be a few reasons to double dip on this one, or go after this one if you don't have the first one. So let's see what this guy can do, see how he moves around. He is fairly familiar territory if you've been collecting Dragon Ball Figuarts for a little while. We've got a number of different Gohans that use this body at this point. So to start with, we've got a head that can look up about that far, not too far really because of the hair. He looks down really good, right into those pecs. Tilt side to side. You've got full rotation, of course. Arms out at the shoulders. They swivel. You do have a butterfly joint in there. This is one of those figures, though, that has a rubbery gi over top of the torso, so that does impede articulation some. It's not the biggest detriment when you want to move the arms forward, but it does get in the way. Of course, the arms are going to swivel. You've got a bicep swivel. We've got double jointed elbows. And then, as usual, you've got a ball hinge for the wrist, so in and out, and then swivel it all around. The torso is going to be hindered by this gi, however. There's really no way around it. So there is a diaphragm cut here, there is articulation under this, but that's just going to get hindered. So you've got some crunch forward, you've got tilt backward, and then you've got a little shimmy side to side. You've also got rotation at the waist. You can sort of try and swivel up there at the torso, but it's going to be difficult. Legs go out about yay far. They kick forward all the way. They're going to go backwards a little bit. You do have a thigh twist. We've got double jointed knees. They go back a good bit. Of course, you know, he has bigger pants, but they still go back pretty far. And then down at the ankles, you've got rotation, and I really like these ankles. I know they have maybe a little bit of an odd design to them in comparison to others, but they're pretty functional. You've got pretty nice rocker, and then you've got some hinge down here, and you've got toe articulation, but I always really like the hidden boot swivel that this body in particular offers. So, you know, again, if you've got the first Gohan, if you've got some of the superhero Gohans, you basically know what to expect here. He's a pretty standard figure at this point. This kind of, you know, one of the go-forward styles of figure that we're used to seeing now. But he still moves pretty well. Not much issue, not much fuss posing this guy around. Now, the visuals are where we see some of the most significant changes between the first release and this event exclusive. The accessories are going to be the other area. Typically, I could go either way when it comes to this sort of iridescent, pearlized, metallic, whatever you want to call it, sheen on figures. I think some are really good. I think some are okay. I feel like Beast Gohan may be up there for one of the better ones. I do really like this because it helps to sell kind of that specific moment when he transforms. And I think in many ways, it translates the superhero aesthetic really well because, you know, it's a pretty unique and different art style compared to a lot of other Dragon Ball media. Just based on how it's been animated and the finish and the styling behind it, I think this looks fairly close to a lot of those effects and that sort of styling when we see him become Beast Gohan. So I'm a big fan of this one. I do want to, just bring in the other one just to say we did it. So you can see what's exactly different between the two. So we've got our new one on the left. We've got our original on the right. And, obviously they're the same figure. The difference is going to come down to the overall finish and then the color palette. So there are a few things that are different. Like the boots are a darker brown. The gi is this very pearlescent, metallic purple color that actually has sort of a color shift thing to it, as does the belt and the boots. The boots actually have it also. So it's not just like a metallic sheen. It is very much an iridescent type of look. And then you've got like a slightly more metallic-y look on the bracers. His belt is a different color entirely. The faceplates have some changes. So like these two have the same faceplate, but the paint is different between the two. So this one has him looking dead on. This one now has him, this is his like stoic look. This one has him looking to his left, your right. And then the hair is now very, very different. I think I prefer this hair to the original. I just really like this very like, pearl. It's definitely like a pearly look on the hair in particular. The way it catches the light in particular, I think is really nice. And I'm pretty happy with the way this one turned out. That's not to say I don't like the original one. This is one of my favorite Gohan figures that we've gotten in general. So it's just more of the same good stuff, I suppose. So, there's your comparison of what is or isn't the same or different between these two. But I really like the way this guy looks. I'm happy with it. I think proportionally, he's still a really solid looking figure. I like this body style. I like this articulation scheme with how he's put together. The soft goods upper torso gi aspect does hinder things a little bit, but I think it looks good. It's visually compelling. I'm happy with that. I think the hair, the face is easily one of the biggest areas of upgrade. I think I would call it that. I really like the way this hair looks, that pearlescent sheen, the way the light catches it really works well. And then this does give you a little bit of a different option for how you want to pose this guy, because he is looking off in a different direction now. There is no stoic, dead-on staring face with this figure. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I think overwhelmingly, it's the same figure, obviously. It's just a little bit different. So if you don't have the first one, this one might be a good way to get the figure without breaking the bank. But if you do have the first one, you might still want to consider this one, because I just think he looks really good, and you can kind of pair him with some of the new accessories that we've got to make for a little bit of a different kind of display, and use the first one in a different way. Pair that one with Orange Piccolo, have this guy with this new aura effect that we're going to talk about here in a minute. So I am pretty happy with this one. It is a very standard style of event exclusive that they're doing here, but it's not just this metallic coating. There are small changes to different aspects of this figure, from things like the faceplates, and then of course, when we get to that aura effect, that's another big change. Now, as far as accessories goes, this is another area of major change for this figure. Some stuff gets modified, one thing gets removed, well, two things get removed, I suppose, and then one thing gets added. So to start with, we do get some extra pieces to modify Gohan, of course. To start with, we get 3 extra faceplates. Now, there was a 4th faceplate in the first release. That faceplate was for the standard superhero Gohan. It was a bonus piece when you pre-order on P Bandai, so that's not included. It doesn't actually go on this figure. It goes on the standard non-transformed Gohan, but we get 3 extra faceplates here, and they are the same faceplates as the original release, but some of them have changes. So to start with, we do have, of course, our stoic one that is now looking off to his left, your right now. We get a yelling face, which is now looking straight ahead. It was looking right previously. We get a gritted teeth expression, which is now looking to the right. It was looking dead on previously. And then we get a smirking face, and this one is unchanged as best I can tell, still looking dead on. So you get all the same faces this time around. Just a couple of them have had some changes, I guess, to make it worthwhile in some ways. We do get some extra hands also. These are all basically the same hands. So you get fists on them in the box. We get, open palm style posy kind of hands. You get a set of these. You get a set of charging hands. You get a set of, 3-finger or 2-finger, however you want to describe it, posing style posy kind of hands. And then you get a single right hand with the 2 fingers to put up against, his temple or whatever you want to do. If you want to have it look like he's charging up a special beam cannon. And of course, we'll talk about that here in a second. He does also still include the crossed arm effect, which I am always the biggest fan of. I love these. It's one of my favorite Dragon Ball Figuarts accessories, despite the fact that it turns figures essentially into a statue. I just think they look cool, so I'm always happy to see this. Now, as far as what's different beyond that, of course, the big thing is, well, the big thing sitting back here. So we do have an aura effect. This is the same aura effect that we've seen for years now, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is the best one we've gotten yet. I'm really, really happy with this one, mostly because it just so much showcases this point in time in Superhero when Gohan transforms. All of these colors are present. The lightning effects look great. We've got pinks, we've got purple, we've got frosted whites. It just looks really good, and it goes really, really well with this figure. So I'm very happy with that one. Despite the fact that I have quite a few of these now, I really like the way this one looks compared to a lot of the other ones. It's just more character specific in a lot of ways. However, it is worth mentioning that the trade-off here is that we get this thing, but if you don't have that first Beast Gohan, you are going to miss out on the special beam cannon effect, which has been one of the biggest effect pieces that we got in a really long time. So he doesn't include that. You know, if you do have it, you can still use it. That does include a hand, so you are technically missing another hand out of this one, but it's part of the effect. Beyond that, though, I mean, I think this is a pretty solid spread. This is a more expensive figure compared to the original, but typically something like this would be like 20, 25, maybe 30 bucks now. So really, I think the price is kind of a wash, especially if you already have that first Beast Gohan. This is going to kind of complete this set and really makes for a nice presentation when you pair this metallic, pearlescent, again, whatever you want to call that sheen, with this very cool looking effect piece. So yeah, overall, this is a pretty solid figure. You know, if you have the first Beast Gohan, you pretty much know what to expect here. If you have the Superhero Gohan, you pretty much know what to expect here. The big differences come in with what is changed, of course, between this version and the original. So we've got a few changes on faceplates. We've got a very different deco and color scheme, which I really like here. I still don't know which one I prefer, but I like this iridescent look on this version of Gohan a lot more than some of the other event exclusives that have happened over the years. I do also think that the aura effect is maybe the best one we've gotten in general. I think it fits this character perfectly. Like, the color scheme works really well. Of course, we're missing the special beam cannon. That's the trade out from the original to the new one. So if you have the original one, this might be a reason to double up. But if you don't have the original one, this is also going to be an easier way to get that one without necessarily spending a lot more than retail. So that's going to do it for this look at the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Super Superhero Beast Gohan Event Exclusive Edition. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.